Juan Salazar, thanks a bunch, man, for that donation. I really appreciate it, man. It really means a lot to me when you guys drop a donation on my live views. Again, Juan Salazar, thanks for that, my man. Now let's jump into a next story by a regular guest from this your channel, Iwan Grillo, great narco reporter, and he recently wrote a story regarding these At-4, this bazooka, who was seen at a video from Tamaulipas, allegedly from the Cartel del Golfo, if we judge by the symbol on the back of these bulletproof that this man is wearing. The truth about cartel rockets and Ukraine. Alleged video of the Gulf cartel with an At-4 anti-tank weapon set off on proven claims it was from US supplies to Ukraine. The Russian embassy encouraged them. Good news. If you haven't subscribed to Ewan's Substack, I really recommend you do. He posts great information, some really cool independent journalism right there, and of course, friend of the channel. The latest video emerging from the narcosphere shows the gunman pacing up a road in blue jeans and a light pink shirt. A Kalashnikov is strewn on his left hip, but on his right side, he's carrying what appears to be a meter-long anti-tank weapon. His backpack boasts a martial logo with an eagle, scorpion, and phoenix, and the words in Spanish for bravery, immortal force, and transformation. This is one of the main mottos for the Cartel del Golfo Scorpions faction. In the center are the initial CDG, short for Cartel del Golfo, the paramilitary mafia with headquarters in Matamoros over the river from Brownsville, Texas. Cartels churn out various genres of videos they put out on social media. Some paint them as the good guys handing out presents on Children's Day. In others, masked capos read out messages aimed at the government or rivals. The painfully common splatter videos reveal killers torturing and beheading their victims. And films like these show off their hardware and troops. In their narrative warfare, they aim to make their faction look stronger in the battle to traffic drugs, control human smuggling, and run other rackets. Mexican and foreign media outlets have long wrestled with how to cover the narco propaganda. There are thought questions on whether you should amplify their messages, show their brutality and potential comebacks from gangsters. But the latest video managed to provoke a whole new level of fallout, sapping around the internet along with bogus statements to get entangled in the narrative fight over the war 6,000 miles away in Ukraine. Encouraged by a statement from the Russian embassy in Mexico, social media accounts made the unsustained claim that weapons Washington supplies to Kiev are being diverted to cartels. This explosive assertion linked two of the biggest issues driving the US populist right, the Russo-Ukrainian war and the southern border. The video first circulated on social media before Milenio, one of Mexico's most prominent TV networks, picked it up. Milenio has done stellar work on the drug war and suffered threats and attacks, but it made a key mistake. It identified the weapon as a javelin, stressing how these are used in Ukraine. The FJM-148 Javelin is an advanced rocket launcher worth about $176,000 apiece that is almost unseen in Latin America, but Ukrainians have been using them to take out Russian tanks. In reality, the weapon looks like an At-4, an older and much cheaper anti-materiel weapon that is used by military forces around the world, including several South American armies. Michael Burgoyne, a retired U.S. colonel who served as army attaché in Mexico as well as deploying in Iraq and Afghanistan, explained to me the limits of the At-4. It's not super capable, so it's good for light armor, he said. It's direct attack, it's not like a javelin, which does stop attack, that has been so effective in Ukraine. The Russian embassy followed the TV report by tweeting out a statement. It identified the weapon as an At-4 and raised the question of whether it had been diverted from Ukraine, while the West continues supplying arms without thinking to the Kiev regime and making a lot of money with this business. We're probably seeing the consequences in Mexico. The Citizen Free Press, a right-wing outlet with popular Twitter account, followed with the most outlandish claim. It linked to a Millennial TV report and said that dozens of US At-4 weapon systems, which were originally shipped to Ukraine, have been purchased by the Cartel del Golfo in Mexico. This was wrong on 2 points. First, Millennial did not claim were dozens of the At-4s, and most importantly, it did not say the Gulf Cartel had got them from Ukraine. After criticism, Twitter slapped a community note on it saying it misrepresents the information, but still the tweet had more than 2 million views within 15 hours, and comments such as, the Mexican cartels are 100% proxies of the evil regime in Washington, D.C. So what do we really know about the latest video and the heavy weapons going to cartels? The first problem is that we haven't verified the source or details of the image. We can't be certain when it was taken or if it was altered. We also can't be sure if it is a live and seen used weapon. Army vet and author Ryan Macbeth says the yellow band shows it is an inert training device. This could mean, though, that the cartel are training with At-4s. Even presuming the Gulf Cartel have a live At-4, however, this will not be shocking. Mexican cartels have wielded these level armaments for at least a decade. Mexican troops seized various RPG-7s, a Soviet-made rocket launcher, including from a bust in 2012. In the 2013 video below, I went into the so-called narco museum of items the Mexican army has captured from gangsters and around American M72 law light anti-tank weapon. A significant source of such weapons is from corrupt soldiers or loosely guarded arsenals across Latin America. In 2010, thieves stole 22 RPG-7s from a base in Honduras. El Salvador has vast stockpiles of grenades left over from its civil war in the 1980s, and many make their way onto the black market. A Brazilian gangster known as Seaside Freddy acquired weapons from soldiers in Suriname, Bolivia, and Paraguay and traded them with Colombian guerrillas for cocaine. Mexico's Defense Department also reported more than 50,000 guns went missing from police forces between 2006 and 2018. So again, guys, I mean, let's be aware of all the misinformation out there. It's crazy how much reach a fake tweet can get. Even if they have a community note, still people will believe what they see or they read on Twitter on very malicious propaganda accounts. Like this Russian embassy sounds really, really sketchy to me that they had to say something like that without even confirming and probably actually knowing that it was fake, that this is definitely not true, right? I mean, when as Ian Grillo said on his own article, the source of these weapons are usually from South America, not necessarily from the US. The vast majority comes from the US, but we have a lot of other strong, heavy weaponry in South America that were loosely, quote unquote, guarded and someone, quote unquote, stolen. Of course, these governments are even more corrupt than the Mexican government. So these heavy weapons, these RPGs and shit ends up on drug cartels' hands, which is really bad. Not really bad only for us Mexicans, really bad also for the US, because I mean, I think this serves as propaganda first for the Russians to smash the US and say, dude, all the resources you're putting out to Ukraine are ending up on your enemy neighbor right there with the Mexican drug cartels, which is bullshit. And that could start, again, a nifty relationship that already is between the US and Mexico. But it's also bad because I think this is being used by the US as a propaganda to, again, make their dream come through to send troops into Mexico to fight these drug cartels. Now, but if these drug cartels are using bazookas, or RPGs, or whatever, that's not going to be easy task, right? Let's see the developments. Now, if Mexico gets a hold of these kind of weaponry and a civil war breaks in the country, then we're fucked. Then Mexico is absolutely fucked. And a good portion of the US as well is going to face ugly shit.